Hi everyone, I'm back again, and today I'm going to be doing the Synastry chart between Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet by request. Now this is a really interesting Synastry chart because there's so many aspects in here that say that they could be possible soulmates, but there's one thing missing that I will get to. So I'm going to get started on this. His Eros conjuncts her Psyche. Eros conjuncting Psyche is one of the typical asteroid connections that signify soulmates. Now, Psyche has to do with soul, and Eros has to do with eroticism. So this is a very powerful body and soul connection. The attraction is really intense, and it's also validated by his Mars trining her Venus at 1 degree. And Mars trining Venus also has to do with a very strong sexual attraction. And her Venus is overlaying into his first house, her Venus and her Lilith. And Lilith has to do with sexuality. Now, her Venus overlaying into his first house, this means that she finds him very attractive. And the Lilith is there as well. So there's this, again, all of this together spells a very strong sexual and physical and just a huge attraction between the two of them. And she finds him sexy as well. Now his Lilith conjuncts her descendant. And this again has to do with sexy vibes. He brings that right into the relationship. It's conjuncting her descendant, a very important angle. But it's a good thing that there's not just the sexy attraction here, because his point of fortune is conjuncting her Amichatia at 0 degrees. And this has to do with friendship. The point of fortune, it magnifies whatever it connects to. And in this case, Amichatia. So she brings him a lot of good vibes and friendship. Now, her groom conjuncts his bride at 2 degrees. This is another indication that can mean soulmates. Groom and bride together. And I would say, well, I think that they're going to get married. But after looking at this chart, I'm not really sure about that because, well, I'll tell you why in a minute. But it's interesting because her groom is conjuncting his bride. So I don't know, did the universe get it messed up, or is it just because he's the bride here? Maybe she wears the pants in this relationship, or he's just as pretty as she is. So, I mean, it's we'll see if they get married. But like I said, it's questionable because his Saturn is in his 7th house, and the 7th house has to do with committed relationships. And people who have Saturn in the 7th house, this can mean like a delayed marriage. Or you marry somebody right out of high school and the marriage lasts a really long time. But it can usually means a delayed marriage, or maybe you marrying someone older. So I'm not really sure how long it's going to take for them to become engaged or to get married, because also he has a very packed 5th house. And when men have a stellium of planets in their 5th house, it usually means they're a player. Now, I don't know what his dating history was like, but he also has Venus in Aquarius. And Venus and Aquarius, they also love their freedom. They like to have freedom in a love relationship. They don't want to be tied down easily. So I don't know. I don't think that they're going to get married anytime soon. He may change his mind. If anybody is going to change his mind, I think it's going to be her, because of all these wonderful aspects in this chart between the two of them. Now, the next aspect is also a soulmate connection. Her Uranus is making a conjunction to his Gaia. And Uranus and Gaia were married. Now, Uranus is the Greek god. Again, she's got the male role here, and Gaia, he's the Gaia, and that's Mother Earth. But Uranus, the Greek god of the heavens and the sky, was married to Gaia, Mother Earth. Now, Eros matched the two of these two together. He named, I want to get my notes here really quick because I just don't want to mess this up. Eros named the sky Uranus, and the earth he named Gaia. And then Eros made the two of them fall in love. So that's where this connection comes in. And also, her Eros is conjuncting, like I said before, his Psyche. So we got a bunch of different soulmate connections going on here. Now, his Venus conjuncts his Agapanor. And I've talked about Venus in a man's chart before. Whatever it conjuncts, it makes a connection to, in this case, Agapanor. And Agapanor has to do with unconditional love and friendship. So that's what he looks for in a woman. That's what he thinks, that's what he wants in a woman, and he thinks that's important, and he's going to treat his women that way, with unconditional love and friendship. So this is nice. Now, his sun and devotion conjuncts her ascendant and her Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty. And this makes perfect sense to me because it's conjuncting her ascendant. And whatever conjuncts her ascendant, these energies will be out in the open. People will say, oh, there she is. She's beautiful. She's got a makeup line or a beauty line. And his sun is conjuncting her ascendant. So there's a mutual attraction here between the two of them. And his devotion is also conjuncting her ascendant. So this to me says that he, maybe he'll change his playboy ways. I don't know if he was a playboy or not. And if anybody out there knows, let me know, because I don't follow them closely. But if anybody's going to change his mind about him being a playboy or, not wanting to settle down, it'll be her. His Mars and Juno conjuncts her Pallas. And so there's wisdom and good counsel here. And it's on both sides because her Mars is conjuncting his Pallas. So they give really good advice to each other. They give really, they're smart and they lead each other in the right direction. And his Juno is conjuncting her Pallas as well. So this means that maybe she's saying, you know what, I think that the marriage thing might be a good idea, or maybe she doesn't want to get married. I'm not really sure. If anybody is going to be the most hesitant on this, it's going to be him because of all of those aspects that I said. And his Mars is in Capricorn though, so he values quality, and he doesn't, he's not going to run around with a woman that isn't, high status or who has a name for herself. Capricorns are all about status and wealth and making a name for themselves. Also, her Caputo and Jenner, her PNA, it conjuncts his IC. And that has to do with she loves him. There's two Caputos. This Caputo is H40, and that's the Caputo that has to do with a very strong love, like the one that shoots the arrow. The other Caputo is a bad boy that has to do with cheating. So in this instance, like I said, her Caputo and her Jenner is conjuncting his IC. So she loves him deeply, I think. And the IC is a really important angle in a Synastry chart. Now, his Night and Erato conjuncts her moon, 1 degree. 0 degrees. This is excellent because you do not want any negative asteroids conjuncting your moon from anyone, because it's a very sensitive part in your natal chart. And he's got Night there. So he's like this knight in shining armor, and there's loyalty there. And looking at this chart, after I looked it over completely, it reminded me of that movie with Meg Ryan. It's called Kate and Leopold. I think it came out about 20 years ago. It's a really cute movie. And he comes in from the future, he comes in from the past, and they get together, and he's still dressed up like a chivalrous knight, proper, treats the ladies right, that sort of thing. And so there's a lot of chivalry here, I think. His knight conjuncting her moon, and his Arado. And Arado has to do with like writing letters and poetry. So I think that he writes her love letters, and he's just, to me, he seems chivalrous in this Synastry chart with her. His palace conjuncts her midheaven and Mars, like I said before. So that's like a double whammy, because in the previous aspect I said that it was her palace conjuncting his Mars, but now we have his palace conjuncting her Mars. I just said that. Anyway, you know what I mean. It's a double whammy, and I think that she gives some good advice as well. Now, maybe she gives some good advice about her skincare line, because he's got really nice skin, and her Mars is in Libra, and Libra rules beauty. So maybe she's like, honey, maybe you should just use this exfoliant or this skin cream or eye cream. So, and really, because her Mars is conjuncting her midheaven, and that has to do with the career. And so she's very, she's got a lot of drive. She also has a lot of ambition there as well. And since Mars is also conjuncting her Chiron, this could mean that maybe people bullied her at work, or there's pain somewhere along the line with her career, and people maybe talking behind her back, or just being a pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? In the work, in the career. That's what I see. Now, his Vesta conjuncts her midheaven and her Mars. So Vesta, devotion. She can rely on him, and he's there for her, definitely. Now, his Alma conjuncts her union, 0 degrees. Again, these two asteroids making a conjunction. This is a soulful union between these two. It also goes back to Eros conjuncting Psyche, like I said before. But I've never seen so many of these connections. Usually I see maybe one or two if the Synastry chart is lucky with the two people. But in this case, there's a bunch. I think this is number 4 or 5, but I think it's just a very strong karmic connection. It's fated, because there's another double whammy going on here. His Saturn conjuncts her south node, and her Saturn conjuncts his south node. Oh, that's a powerful fated bond. And her Odysseus conjuncts his south node as well. And again, here's Odysseus. He was a man in the Trojan War. Can't make this up. And he left, and he left Penelope to watch the home front, and he was gone for a very long time, and she was very devoted to him. So here's another connection, because her Penelope sextiles his Odysseus. Now the Saturn double whammy conjuncting each other's south node, that, like I said, that's a karmic link, fated relationship, and there's a deep connection with commitment, and it's very sobering. It's like almost like it's not frivolous. There's lessons to be learned, and there's going to be a lot of growing between these two of them. So, stoic also, in a way. Very, very, very karmic bond here. Now, her Adorea conjuncts his descendant in Alma, so she adores him. Adorea has to do with adoration, and it's conjuncting his descendant and his Alma, and that has to do with soul. It's like a soulful connection as well. Very strong energies between these two. And her Europa conjuncts his moon, 0 degrees. So we've got another really nice asteroid conjuncting his luminary. And Europa has to do with glamour. So she brings a lot of glamour into this relationship, and it's just, out in the open, high society, glamorous and just glitzy. That's what she brings into this for him as well. And his Apollo conjuncts her Venus and her North Node. Very nice. Apollo, god of beauty and the arts. So he's this Apollo god. He's like an Apollo. To her, she finds him very, very attractive with her Venus conjuncting that asteroid. And since Apollo is conjuncting her North Node, again, this is like the theme of this relationship is really all about the beauty, the arts, glamorous, and just high society, physical attraction and a karmic connection. It's really powerful. Now, her Venus trines is Juno, and that's really nice as well. So now I'm going to be getting to some planetary placements because I think these are important. Now, before I said that there was a lot of soulmate connections in this chart between the two of them, and then there was one thing that is missing, and that is they don't have any moons between the two of them. There's no moon-moon connections. I think that's really necessary in a synastry chart. And if you don't have any positive moon-moon aspects between the two of you, you better have some backups. Because emotionally, there's going to be a piece missing between the two of you eventually. You won't be able to put your finger on it if you're really not that familiar with astrology. But if you are, you'll know. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's this emotional connection that's just kind of out of reach. That doesn't. It's not there. Now they have some backups here. I don't know if it would be strong enough to keep them together for a long time, but his moon trines her Pluto, and that's a very romantic, primal, emotional attraction. There's a lot of lust and tenderness here between the two of them, and it's a deep emotional connection. Also, her Alma trines his child asteroid by 1 degree. And Alma this is a very strong, it's a soulful, deep connection. And child has to do with, it's like an innocence. And child is almost like a mini moon. So her Alma trining his child, it's like a mini moon trine moon. It's not as strong, but it helps. So this is a very nice aspect. And alma is a Spanish word for soul. It's so a deep heart aspect that has the same energy. It's like the mini energy of the moon. Now, his Neptune trines her Venus at 0 degrees. And this is highly romantic. It's like being swept away into a childlike dreams of love. But Neptune here is a trine. So there's no really rose-colored glasses going on. So there's not a fog or an over-idealization when you have the trine, as much as if there was a conjunction between the two or a square. So that's nice too. And they have Mercury trine Venus, 1 degree. That's really nice as well. So if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to blame it on no positive moon-moon connections, because that really does make a difference in a synastry chart. Or maybe his 5th house stellium. So we'll see what happens, and I hope you enjoyed this interpretation, and I will be back soon. Have a nice day.